everybody, welcome back to Savage Sullivan Math. Today we're looking at something pretty special. Check out this multiplication problem. We've got a binomial multiplied by another binomial. Remember, to handle this, we have to do double distribution. So let's give it a go. We're going to take this 5x and multiply it by that 5x. 5x times 5x is 25x squared. Then we're going to take the 5x and multiply it by a positive 7. 5x times 7 is going to be a 35x. Now don't forget that this is double distribution. So we have to take this negative 7 and multiply it by this 5x, which is going to be a negative 35x. And then take the negative 7 and multiply it by a positive 7, which is a negative 49. Awesome job, everyone. Now we just need to look at our answer so far. We have to see, do we have any like terms? Right here, we've got a pair of x's that we can combine. So 35x minus 35x, wait a second, that's just 0. So essentially, these two terms cancel out. So I'm just left with 25x squared minus 49, because these two middle terms cancel out. Do I have any other like terms? No, I don't. So this is my final answer. There's a special name for this type of answer. This answer is called a difference of squares. And it's a difference because it's subtraction, and squares because we know the square root of 25x squared is 5x, and we know the square root of 49 is 7. Let's take a look back at our original problem. Do we notice anything curious? Look at this. These are essentially the same thing, except this has a minus sign and this has a plus sign. So if they start the same and they end the same, and one has a minus sign and one has a plus sign, you know you're dealing with the difference of squares. And you know you're going to have a binomial for your final answer. Take it away, Mrs. Savage.
Whoa, that was pretty special, Mrs. Sullivan. What about something like this? 4x minus 3 quantity squared. Well, when I look at this, my brain really wants to say that the answer is 16x squared minus 9, because I think we should just square both of those terms. But gasp, we are not going to do that. We got to think about what it means to actually square something. It means that we're multiplying it by itself. So if I was going to actually write this in expanded form, this would be 4x minus 3 times 4x minus 3. Now we just have a double distribution problem, and we know how to do that. So we're going to go ahead. So we're going to go ahead and multiply 4x times 4x, and we get 16x squared. 4x times negative 3, which is a negative 12x. Negative 3 times 4x, again, negative 12x. And negative 3 times a negative 3, which is a positive 9. In Mrs. Sullivan's example, our middle terms canceled out. But when I look at this, negative 12x minus 12x, those are not going to cancel. That's actually going to combine to be a negative 24x. Plus 9 will go on the end, and we carry the 16x squared down. So my final answer ends up being the trinomial 16x squared minus 24x plus 9. Well, we only have one slight difference between the problem that Mrs. Sullivan did and this one, and it's the fact that these signs are the same. In Mrs. Sullivan's, they were different. So that's why we end up with a trinomial here. This trinomial has a special name. We call it a perfect square trinomial. And the reason why we call it a perfect square trinomial is because we got it by multiplying two of the same things together. So we end up with a perfect square. Just like if I was going to multiply 10 times 10 to get 100, and 100 we call a perfect square. So this is what we call a perfect square trinomial, or a PST. Pretty cool. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe.